Project was dominating the music industry. They had multiple award-winning artists like MT, Aries, Sjava, Amanda Black, and many others, with each having multiple hit songs and classic albums. But after making Ambitiouz Entertainment tens of millions of rands, a few years later, they all suddenly left the record label and exposed the evil that was being done behind closed doors. From allegations of paying their artists a monthly minimum wage,
but I was getting paid monthly and a certain amount that just didn't cut it for me,
to confiscating their music awards after winning them.
I never stayed with an award for over 24 hours after receiving,
and taking them to court whenever they try to leave and be independent.
Yeah, man, we just came back from the court, as my brother just said. And yeah, man, we came back with a W, with a win. Of course, man, it's W this time.
If record labels were reviewable, then Ambitiouz Entertainment would receive a 1 out of 5 star rating for how terrible they treat their own artists, which is why the label's greediness led to its own downfall. Ambitiouz Entertainment was founded in 2015 by Kgosi Mahumapelo, and a few days after its creation, the label immediately signed multiple artists like Fifi Cooper, Aries, Benchmark, MT, Miss Prue, and DJ Citylight. Within the first year, they already had 3 hit songs, which made Ambitiouz Entertainment a popular record label for upcoming artists who wanted to make it big in the music industry. For example, in July 2015, MT released his first DIY project that fans absolutely loved. A month later, in August, he also released the biggest song of his career, Roll Up, which also won an award for Song of the Year at the 2015 SA Hip Hop Awards.
I'd like to thank each and every one of y'all sitting up in this for bumping my ish. Shout out to Fifi Cooper, Benchmark, DJ City Lights, and every single one of y'all for believing in me from day one, you feel me?
The original song was followed by a roll-up remix featuring Wizkid and AKA, and these 2 tracks would later make it to his 2015 classic debut album, Avery, in which more than half of the track list all became hit songs. Meanwhile, Fifi Cooper released her own debut album containing its own multiple hit songs, with Aries also dropping his debut single featuring MT, which also became a hit song. But this insane success was only just the beginning for Ambitiouz Entertainment. In 2016, MT won more than 6 music awards, and his 2015 debut album Avery sold more than 40,000 copies and was certified platinum.
MT's in the house, okay? He went.
Yeah, now this brew was on a roll at this time, bro. I don't know, you just had to be there for it, because that time, bro, I don't know, MT was just going crazy. Like, honestly, I'm glad that this nigga managed to do that and still in the game now. But for the fact that he's going through this shit right now is crazy, bro.
Moreover, Aries delivered his own classic debut album, Paradise, with more than 5 hit songs. And on Twitter, he posted that he wishes to win an award for Lyricist of the Year as one of his goals for 2016.
The one moment in there when they were nominating that I actually was like, yo, was when they brought you up for Best Lyricist. Yeah. You've been wanting that for a while.
for a while.
For a minute.
For a while. And I'm very happy.
Yeah.
Because it's like I even made a pinned tweet for that. You know what I mean? I put it up there.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
damn, bro. This nigga looking at this.
and now I'm like, what? So what's left is for me to collect that thing, man, and then we nice.
And that wish would come true after he won Lyricist of the Year at the 2016 SA Hip Hop Awards. Additionally, Ambitiouz Entertainment signed 2 new artists, Sjava and Amanda Black, who both immediately released 2 successful debut albums, while at the same time, Miss Prue was dominating with the hit song Amen, featuring all Ambitiouz Entertainment artists except for Amanda Black. And strangely enough, despite the record label's success and popularity, Aries, along with Fifi Cooper and Benchmark, announced that they were leaving Ambitiouz Entertainment for good. To whom it may concern the most, the fans, I would like to say that I am no longer part of Ambitiouz Entertainment as of moving forward. I thank the label and its remaining artists in abundance for making this journey interesting and everything they've done for me. I'm currently pushing myself 10 times harder to keep the consistency going by working on new content for all my loyal followers. To those in favor of me growing and expanding, I promise not to disappoint. You are now introduced to a new Genesis, a Aries can't die. On the same day, shortly after Aries' tweet, Fifi Cooper took to Instagram and posted, "Listen, note that I am no longer an ambitious entertainment artist. It's been good, but all good things come to an end. I've decided to push Fifi Cooper under Fifi Cooper's record label, Mo Cooper Records. I've learned, I'm ready, and it's time." Similarly, Benchmark also put out their own statement on Twitter, which for whatever reason they later deleted. And allegedly after this, Ambitiouz Entertainment started sending emails to radio stations.
Hey, bro, Ambitiouz was going on a whole different road at this time, bro. That's why a lot of artists were leaving, bro. Because imagine having to be on Ambitiouz and dealing with this shit, bro, as an artist.
TV networks like MTV Base and Channel O, warning them to not play any music by Aries, Fifi Cooper and Benchmark, or else it will result in Ambitiouz Entertainment copyright claiming the music that is being played or performed. Benchmark responded to this alleged email by tweeting, "We agreed that we ain't gonna play dirty. We had a meeting on Thursday, but y'all are playing dirty. We just wanted to leave, Nje." To make matters worse, Aries went on Peltusis behind the story and expressed that the reason he left Ambitiouz was because they were taking advantage of him and not paying him enough money.
I wasn't getting paid, and I felt like my art direction was being taken into a whole new domain, you know, that I'm not comfortable with. But beyond that, I was just not getting paid. I'm supposed to get paid.
You've done wrong, basically, but definitely taking advantage.
Bro, it's crazy how much he said paid in that short span of time, bro. It's just like, yeah, bro, I feel like if you're working too much, you have to get paid. Like, it's not even a thing of like anything else. You're putting in so much effort. They taking your art direction, and also you're not getting paid. That's insane, bro.
Situation. Would you agree with me if I
Of
said
course,
that?
I feel like most artists in the label are taken advantage of.
Which seemed to be the main concern also shared by Fifi Cooper.
The whole Ambitiouz thing, I actually didn't want it to get to this point because for me it was a personal thing. I was just fighting with my boss and it was personally Nekimokopari meeting separately. I didn't know that the guys want to leave, but I know that every artist, whenever we go to shows or gigs or interviews, we were talking about this problem that we are working but we don't have money, you know, so it was just that thing.
After leaving Ambitiouz, MT felt like they abandoned him, so he tweeted, "These kids leaving the label thinking they know better. Good luck out there. Those who used to say things like Ambitiouz forever are all gone." After seeing this, Aries responded, "And those who said they want to leave stayed. Your word is far from your heart. That's hypocrisy. MT, you deserve better and you know it."
I'm gonna put it out how it is. See, with MT had the same feelings as I did about the label.
Really?
And his were probably like worse because they were bottled in. I remember we had a show in PLK and I was with him in the van and stuff. It was me, him, Flame. That's who I remember. And then he was like, "Yo, you can't even be your ultimate self as an artist in this label because you marginalized, you know?" I'm like, "Yo, where's that coming from?" I was just like, "No, I think I'm gonna leave sooner than I thought." Yo, I'm telling you right now, those are his words. They came out of his mouth. If I'm lying right now, may God strike me down. I took that because I was like, "Yo, man, I relate." But then when it was time to actually do it, I'm not saying he was supposed to do it when I was doing it, but don't go out there now making the people believe that, you know.
Damn, that's tough, bro. He said that. Reese, I don't think Reese would lie. Like, I don't think he had any reason to be lying about this shit right now. But for the fact that this nigga MT said he wanted to leave, but then as soon as he left, he was like saying some shit about them. It's
I'm the
insane.
bad guy, or I'm the traitor, I'm the betrayer. You know, that's not cool.
Furthermore, in November 2017, the CEO of Ambitiouz filed a lawsuit against Fifi Cooper, restricting her from owning and performing any music that she recorded while she was signed under the label. On top of that, they also forced her to pay for the legal fees that it cost Ambitiouz to file the lawsuit against her in the first place, along with paying all her royalties to the label. As a result of this, #boycott Ambitiouz Entertainment started trending on Twitter in support of Fifi Cooper. South Africans, I think it's time we stop supporting this record label. Let's #boycott Ambitiouz Entertainment, guys. Fifi Cooper is a human being, not a property. How about we do a crowdfunding campaign for Fifi Cooper? We can raise 1 million towards her new record label. #boycott Ambitiouz Entertainment. #boycott Ambitiouz Entertainment. God, please borrow me 2 million rands so I can buy this label and turn it into a spaza shop. My heart bleeds out for Fifi Cooper. I don't care what business you are running, but this is some evil-ish. Some people went as far as unfollowing and blocking Ambitiouz Entertainment on Twitter, along with social media media accounts of all of their artists, which was followed by deleting all of their music on iTunes and Spotify, only to re-download the music for free on a website called Fakaza. Hi guys, I'm selling pirated Ambitiouz Entertainment music for R2.50 an album, all artists included. So Ambitiouz artists are about to go platinum on Fakaza. Stop supporting record labels who enslave our artists. Hashtag boycott Ambitiouz Entertainment by not buying their music. Don't buy their music, don't attend their events. In fact, unfollow Ambitiouz artists, they don't even deserve our retweet. Let's not forget to unsubscribe on their YouTube channel. I wish I could take back my views. Regardless of this negative public perception, Ambitiouz won the lawsuit against Fifi Cooper and stated that they were planning on doing the same thing to Aries and Benchmark. But fortunately, before they got the chance to do that, Julius Malema with EFF offered assistance to Fifi Cooper to fight back the lawsuit that Ambitiouz filed against her, posting on Twitter, "We have seen the injustice caused to Fifi Cooper by Ambitiouz Entertainment, which is politically associated with the corrupt Northwest Premier Supra Mahumapelo. We have contacted Fifi Cooper with the willingness to help her fight back against the corrupt and exploitative record company." Eventually, EFF ended up winning against the lawsuit.
I want to give a shout out to Bob Julius Malema, because he's the reason why I'm performing these songs today.
Despite getting backlash from the public, in 2017, Ambitiouz began replacing all the artists that they lost by introducing new artists, and specifically with the rapper Kid Tini. There were rumors that Ambitiouz instructed him to take shots at Aries in order to kickstart his music career, which is something that Aries also once mentioned when he revealed that the CEO of Ambitiouz told him to diss Nasty C in order to quickly launch his career.
Nasty's on the up and up, doing his thing, and then boom, Aries pulls up, gets signed to Ambitiouz Entertainment. You have the label owner with his own agendas, you know? So in order to be the one at the time regarding like artists in my age group was for me to go at Nasty. I'm trying to be out there too, and I thought it was healthy competition, so I done did it. I just did it. I was like, yo, let's go. But then it became worse because it was the label owner's war on his own. Like he became obsessed with trying to beat Nasty. Let me put it that way.
In 2019, Ambitiouz again lost one of his...
Yeah, nah, that's kind of fucked up. Like, record labels, dog, I don't know what's wrong with these guys, bro. So they will just ignite a beef in order to just, like, get some views, bro. I mean, ain't that some shit?
Artist MT, mainly over financial issues, but according to him, another reason why he left was because Ambitiouz contributed in destroying his reputation by choosing not to comment on his personal drama.
The reason for the departure really was just, as you said, you know, I've won a lot in the past, lost a lot. When I go through the L's, it's like I'm alone, and when the label is asked, like, what's going on, blase, it's always no comment, whoop-de-whoop, we don't know, and I'm like, how? These people are not representing me well. If every single time you're gonna say no comment, even when stuff is as bad as people talking about my kids and my wife and stuff like that, still no comment.
At one point, he also mentioned that he was getting paid a monthly salary of less than 20,000 rands while getting overworked and making the label approximately 50,000 rands per gig.
I remember I did 6 shows in one night. After that night, my body was fucked. Like I was tired, and I don't get tired. You know, I'm a hustler. So I'm like, no man, here I'm working too much, man. But I still have to wait for a month end.
Do you know, in one gig you probably made your salary with one song performed?
How much was your salary?
It didn't stay the same. I'm gonna say
it started at how much?
Yeah, you're an employee.
It started, you know,
50K, 60.
Yeah, I mean that's empty decent starting.
Less, way less.
Damn. So under 20.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, bro.
You feel
Damn.
And this was when Roll Up was out. Man, this is, yo, that's criminal, bro.
You feel me? So.
And do you know how much they were, in hindsight, or do you know how much they were charging for gigs?
Dude, they were charging like 80, 70, 40, bro. I tried to book MT, bro.
Contract.
I tried to book MT, bro.
Summit, I saw Java.
I'm like, this is too much.
In addition, Ambitiouz took away his 7 awards that he won while he was still under the label.
You know, everybody congratulating me on my way out. And then the boss man comes up behind me and says, yeah, give me what's mine. And I'm like, I stood there and thought, like, what is this? I looked at the award and I saw it's written MT on there. I looked at him and he repeated the statement. And then I didn't ask the third time. It just made sense to me. I'm like, okay, there we go again. Alright, take your thing, homie. I'm out. I just left. I didn't even like debate or try to reason or, can I take you home? One thing I can tell people, I've never taken one award home to my parents. I've never stayed with an award for over 24 hours after receiving, which was something weird because they all written my name on it. I mean, till this day, there's still only God knows where.
Shortly after MT left the label, artists like Kitini, La Sauce, Saudi, Sjava, Gigi Lamayne, and Loiso all left Ambitiouz Entertainment by the end of 2020. But at the same time, Ambitiouz signed two new artists, Intabaya Dubai and Malume Vector, who both unsurprisingly would later have issues with the label later on. For example, in November 2020, Intabaya Dubai was featured on a song called Imali Ening by Big Zulu, which became a big song with more than 21 million views on YouTube. Despite this, in April 2022, Intabaya Dubai posted on Facebook, "I'm not fighting with Ambitiouz Entertainment. I'm fighting for the fact that I'm in a big song which made money, but I haven't received a cent from it. Imali Ening also had an opportunity to be featured on a KFC deal. I didn't get anything from that. Besides that, I haven't got a cent from the song. Whoever claims I was paid money, he or she is lying. The only money I have and survive with is the 3.7 I receive from Ambitiouz Entertainment every month. Also, the money I receive when I'm booked." Almost immediately, Ambitiouz responded by saying, "The 3.7 is for food allowance he receives while receiving more money on top of that. It's just a portion of what he receives. That's a person who..."
Nah, that's a criminal activity, bro. How am I gonna get 3.7? 3.7 is just wild business, dog. I can't lie. 3.7 for you as a top artist at that time is insane.
They were emotionally manipulating the public. He's not even counting the 12,000 rands monthly accommodation. Ambitiouz also flooded Twitter by posting bank statements to prove that they were paying Intabaya Dubai all the money that he earned. But the problem is, these bank statements only show payments for bookings and not the payments for royalties that were supposed to be paid monthly. This one is for bookings. Let's see the one for his salary. But that one is for bookings. We want to see the money made by the song. Read and read again. He agreed that you do pay for bookings. Monthly royalties is what he's questioning. Stop dodging the bullet.
Why would you sign to Ambitiouz, dog? With what happened to MT, A-Rees? Like, his stories in Zipa.
Yeah, but I want to who got their fingers burnt, I guess. Yeah, well.
engayitshela khona ukuthi nombani uyadinga ukuthi abe ne-experience yakhe.
And then those statements, because they showed statements where they paid you like 90,000.
Yeah, so when I'm a proof of payment, 20,000, 90, or from ABSA, 20, I forgot the other figures. I think I 2 or 3.
Kodwa bonele ukuthi abhale ukuthi bookings. Ama-bookings lawa, ama-reports wama-bookings.
So all those statements are valid. Imali zangena.
Yeah, imali zamagigi lezo. Ngiyazazi.
Ukuthi wena uthe, that's why it was confusing. What the only money you've ever received from Ambitiouz is 3.5.
Yes, nemali yamagigi mawukuthi ngibookiwe.
Oh, now we get it.
And then royalties?
Samro.
I'm not sure ngoba yiki imali ngengayithola from Usambo.
How much do you think Imali has made? Because like that song was big, man.
Yeah, that's wild.
In summer?
Yeah, how much you think?
That's probably 3 million.
3 million?
3 million, I said.
Allegedly.
Nah, maybe says.
On the other hand, the owner of the song Big Zulu was also getting attacked online, but he himself shifted the blame to Ambitiouz.
Kodwa ke phela into ekumele ni understand uDubai usayiniwe under iAmbitiouz. So yonke into esiyenzayo ipaperwork yenziwa iAmbitiouz. Yonke imali, ama rights, yonke into kaDubai iseAmbitiouz. Imali yonke engenayo alikho ngisho isent la kaDubai or imali eshodayo ekaDubai esenkabi record.
1 year later, Intabaya Dubai, along with Miss Prue, Black Diamond, and Malume Vector, all parted ways with Ambitiouz. But of course, not all of them could leave without taking the label to court. As in April 2023, Malume Vector took Ambitiouz.
But that's a bad idea, though. Joining the label even after like a lot of people had bad experiences is like also kind of ignorant. That's what I think.
Suing them for copywriting and claiming ownership of his new music, even though he was no longer signed under the label. But unfortunately, before the court made a ruling, Malume Vector would pass away in a tragic car accident in July 2024. Similarly, Black Diamond also filed a lawsuit against Ambitiouz with the complaint that they were copywriting their new music and trying to take it down from YouTube and other streaming platforms.
Yeah, man, we just came back from the court, as my brother just said. And yeah, man, we came back with a W, with a win. Of course, man. It's W this time. I don't know if people have been following along, isn't the way they were happening. So we would drop music and then our previous record label would just go out there on YouTube and try to take down our music, claim copyright claim, you know. Yeah, man, basically that's why we took them to court.
While parting ways with Ambitiouz is beneficial for some artists, unfortunately for many of them, they end up vanishing from the public eye after leaving the label. As explained in this tweet, record labels are stealing from artists, but also most artists can't stand on their own. Only 3 artists that succeeded after leaving Ambitiouz Entertainment are Sjava, Nyaupe Boy, which is Aries, and MT. However, this outcome doesn't only affect the artist, but it also affects the record label as well, as ever since Ambitiouz lost all of its biggest artists, it has been desperately trying to make a comeback but is failing miserably. It got so bad that they even started begging fans to promote their new music in exchange for 100 Rand. On YouTube, all of their recent videos consist of old music from 2016 that was made by their biggest previously signed artist. And on Facebook, they post internet memes and screenshots, most of which are accompanied by negative comments like, "Making money on Facebook now, no other choice, where are the artists?" From the best record label in South Africa to Facebook comedians. Yeah, nah, life. I heard you guys were crying for a cosign at MT Records. Another interesting post was, truth be told, Ambitiouz Entertainment failed as a record label. Now they are focusing on creating memes. From bagging millions of views on their channel back in the days to failing to even bag 10,000 views in 7 months. Nah, this fall off gotta be studied. How can the biggest label fail this bad, then they start being comedians on Facebook? Shame on them. If Ambitiouz Entertainment treated all of their artists with fairness and transparency, then they arguably might have still been the best record label in South Africa till today.